On this episode of A Comic Book Orange, we take a look at 4 adaptations, starting with Logan's Run Last Day and interview original creator Becky Cloonan. This week we review a comic based on a sci-fi classic. It's Run, Runner! Meep, meep. Bluewater Comics brings us Logan's Run Last Day. Who writes these sketches? Logan's Run, for you poor souls who don't know, is about a future where age is color-coded and everyone's life has an expiration date, enforced by sandmen like Logan 6, who go after those who don't report for termination, called runners. The comic book is based less on the 60s cult classic film and more on the original William F. Nolan story adapted by Paul Salamoff. Salamoff actually does a great job of keeping the action moving and revealing some of Logan's backstory. Still, he does rely a bit on the audience's familiarity with the world, as some concepts are only explained well into the story. Artist Daniel Gete is a big part of selling that world, mixing in design concepts from the original novel, the movie, and even our world into a very believable style. It's all delivered in very clean line work and great composition, though there is a certain stiffness about the characters. It works for Logan 6, who is portrayed here as an emotionless killer, but comes off wrong for other characters. And what review of Logan's Run would be complete without mention of color? Joseph Baker's excellent work has all the proper greens, yellows, and reds needed for the tale, and very simple shading that somehow adds great dimensionality. Most comic book adaptations of well-known properties are often weak and pointless, but Bluewater's Logan's Run Last Day is a surprisingly refreshing mix of old and new that should please any fan of the series. We give it 3.5 oranges out of 5. Speaking of adaptations, IDW releases the 3rd issue of their adaptation of the classic 2-part Angel episode, A Hole in the World, by Scott Tipton and Elena Casagrande. It's competent work, but adds nothing new, and it's strange they decided to cover it. Only an Angel fan would understand what's happening, but an Angel fan would have already seen it all. We give it 2 oranges out of 5. The Legend of Aladdin is adapted for Radical by writer Ian Edginton, who brings a modern edge to the story, though sometimes a little too edgy. Artist Reilly's art moves from realistic to muddy, and the overall work is a 2.5 orange read. And finally, Dark Horse continues Mass Effect Redemption, written by Mac Walters and John Jackson Miller and illustrated by Omar Francia. Set in the world of the hit video game, it doesn't tread old ground, but actually adds to the latest game by serving as a prequel and side story. It's solid if nothing special, and gets 3 oranges. This week we interview Becky Cloonan, creator of Pixu and Demo. What are you working on right now?
Right now I'm working on 6 new issues of Demo with Brian Wood. Vertigo's going to be publishing it. It's going to be the same format as the original 12.
What's it like to work with Brian Wood?
Working with Brian is great. We've collaborated a lot in the past, and he basically just leaves me alone and lets me do my thing. And then, I let him write. And it's not a very, collaborative process because we kind of just let each other do our thing. But it's kind of great because I have a lot of freedom to do, what I want with the art.
Most artists come from an American comics background. How does manga influence the way you draw?
I started reading manga, I think when I was in middle school around. Before that, I had read a lot of X-Men, so I went from there to manga. And the great thing about the Japanese comics is they were in black and white. There was a lot of women who drew them. So, when I was reading the X-Men and when I was reading all these, Silver Surfer and stuff, I really loved them, but I never saw myself drawing them because it was, it was in color. It was very, very flashy, and I didn't ever see myself doing that kind of work. But then when I saw, all these Japanese comics like Ramno and Half and Mason Ukuku, it's drawn by a woman. It's a black and white style, just kind of simple line work. It kind of made me realize that there was so many different types of comics out there. That it's not just, superhero books, which I really enjoyed. But when I saw the manga stuff, I was like, oh man, maybe there's so many girls doing it. Maybe I could actually do this. Maybe I could actually draw comics.
You also do some writing. So do you think you'll be doing a lot more writing in the future?
Definitely. I would love to. The first script I officially wrote was a Buffy the Vampire Slayer one-shot called The Thrill. It was a Tales of the Vampire short that Vasilis Lillis drew. So it's kind of cool to be like, page 1, panel 1, a car drives off, into the sunset. Oh, I don't have to draw that at all. I just wrote it, and there it was. So I felt kind of cheap, but it was actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It was very difficult for me to jump, I think, to writing a full script, because when I write for myself, I just do thumbnails and I make quick notes and annotations on the thumbnails. But writing a full script is like you're using a different part of your brain. Very difficult for me, but I think it's something that I really want to work on and in the future do more of.
For more information on Becky Cloonan, check out her website at astrigus.com or Follow her on Twitter as @Becky Cloonan. Well, that's it for this week. Mass Effect Redemption was suggested for review by Fee501st on Twitter. Let us know what you want reviewed via Twitter, Facebook, or in the comments. And I'll see you next week for another episode of A Comic Book Horn. Oh shit, did we blow a fuse? Well, we blew a fuse, but we didn't lose the night, because it's still gonna be out of sight. Oh, come on.
Demo and local have been covered by... Oh, shit. Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry.
Okay. No, a lot of people come up to me asking me to sign it, and I've been doing it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It was Ryan Kelly, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's artist alley right now.
Yeah. No, I'm doing him later. I'm totally doing him later.
I think I'll do him later.
And you're going to film it, honey. Oh, you're going to do
Yep, we'll do them together.
Oh, wow. Intense.